Hello, in this video we're going to continue our web server in Rust. So we only have one feature left to implement. We did implement middlewares, user-defined handlers, and we are finally need a radix tree routing. So for this, I'm gonna use this library I found, and I think actually it is good for, it says it's good for routing as a router. And let's just use it. Let's just use this and see how we are going to do it. So let me copy this, put this in my cargo tumble file, save this, and let the cargo does its magic of downloading the dependency. So how we are going to do this? First of all, let me just create a new file in here called middlewares and put this middleware in here. Let's go to mod and do mod middlewares, public use middlewares. This is not a good practice, but to expose everything, but I'm gonna start with this, okay? So we have the same thing. So middlewares, I always think of router as kind of a middleware. So in my mind, middlewares routing is also a middleware. So it basically gets a request and decide what handler or what code to run. So what I'm going to do is create a router handler. So router, which is a middleware. So it's gonna have an HTTP handler inside. No, this cannot be this. Okay, so let's take a look at the API we want. So what I want, let's say we have a router in here. I want to have something like router, how can I do that? I can say router and then create a list of routes. Let's say a vector new vec of route. Each route has a string and the HTTP handler to call for that. So this would be hello, for example, and this would use custom handler, something like this. And after this, create routes, and then do let router equals a router new routes. This is basically what we want to create. So let's add a router module and add this to mod. So mod routes router, publicly use this. Okay. So I'm gonna have this public struct router. I'm gonna implement HTTP handler for router. It's gonna give me So we got some errors in here. So this is what I want to implement. And close this, this, and this. Can I do cargo build? Okay, it's waiting on this. Let it finish its work. So my router has an internal, not internal, a constructor, which is new. It will get a vec of route objects. And routes is a generic thing where ch is it's not connection handler anymore, it's just HTTP handler, and it has public function new, which returns a route, takes a route which is stir, and a handler which is ch. And I'm writing this wrong because I need to implement router route. Okay, so I have this. And this new thing is for nothing. And this will return a router as well. And let me just do Rust analyzer restart the server. Tries to reload everything. So each route has a route or path, which is a stir. And I'm gonna say this is a string because I want this to own this. And it also has a handler, which is a handler. And this will just return a route. Let's just call this path. So now path and handler. And the router has routes, and we do routes.map, I think. Why I'm not getting it? Why I'm not getting this? So if I do cargo build, it will give me an error. So let me just, how can I stop this? Rust analyzer. Stop. I want to stop this. You know what? Let me just kill this and do cargo build again. If I completely close this, no. Okay, let me pause and fix this downloading issue. Okay, so I had to manually stop everything because I had a problem with downloading this and I needed to use a VPN, but now I think we are okay. Let's just use our old web for this. So in middlewares, we have this, here's this router file. Okay, so first of all, let's fix the syntax errors. Okay, functions are not allowed in this. Okay, we are doing the same mistake. Implement router and do this, do this. Okay, so public struct route, we have the route, we have the router. So what I want to do is routes which is a vector. I want the iterator. I want an iterator over, not necessarily, no. I want just an iter, and I want to do map, which will get each route object, basically. What should I do? So I want to have a root. So I'm going to use the library. So it's radix try node. So I want to root to be a node of key and value. So my key is going to be a string, and value is going to be, okay, so that is a hard thing because I want this. So, you know, the problem is that this node thing has a path data index is a node. Actually, I want to also check if you can handle the path parameters and stuff. Is there a way? So is there a get or fetch? No. So I want the router to be ch, but the ch would vary for each one, right? And let's see. So I have these routes. What I'm going to do is routes.iter.map, not map necessarily. Let's just do a for loop over it. So for route in routes.iter, each route is a route. So for each route I want to do is let root is a node new function. I'm gonna pass this, and it's going to be none. Okay, so I have my root. Root.add node. It's probably this. Route.path and route.handle. And after this, I'm gonna return a router, which root is root. So let's see if we can build this. So we have this error. Okay, we are basically not using this file, I think. So middlewares, we have this in here. We have this middleware for both router and middlewares. What was the error again? Consider importing this struct in HTTP server. So in here we don't have the log middleware because we didn't put this in this correct file, right? And we don't have this, so we do super this. We also don't have this. we should use async trait. Async trait. Cannot find HTTP handler in this scope. Correct, because we don't have this, so super HTTP handler. Where is the error? Oh, okay, so it's super error. Okay, also connection. Let's go into server. Let's go into router. Back in here, run this. So we have some bugs. Let's start define here with generic parameter ch, but we don't use it in here. So this is ch as well. And we have this ch in here, but we didn't say that in here, which is also a problem because this is a problem. I know this is a problem. I know. Should I do this? Okay. This blocks of implementations of HTTP handler. So you know what is the problem? So we have a single trait called HTTP handler, which will handle each HTTP connection. So the problem is user might have multiples of them. That's the plan. But when we are using this way of doing, we are saying that we have a ch generic that implements an HTTP handler, but it should be a single type. And especially when we are using this in here, each element of the vector is going to be a separate one. So maybe it's simpler to just use this way. So instead of having this, I'm gonna say router is not generic. And I'm gonna say ch is an implementation of HTTP handler. So we cannot use this. But what if I say box of implementation of HTTP handler? Okay, we don't have this as well. We actually don't have this at all. So routes is a hash map. You know what? Let's just change this. So public function new returns a router. And we don't have the root. Root is just a node. So let me just ignore this as well. So root is just a node. New. The path is slash, and the handler is just user can pass the handler for the root. So root handler is just an implementation of HTTP handler, and I can do root handler. The trait bound is not satisfied for this. So expected. Oh, okay. So sum of this. It said that I expected a box of something. So I have this box of, let's do new incognite. Let's do box of trait equal, or vector of trade impulse first. Network connection is so good. Let me disconnect this. So let's go in here. We cannot do so V should be clone. Well, we didn't implement clone for this. And so this should also implement clone. Why? Let's run this again. See, so okay. Let's go into middlewares and say this is a clone. Let's go also in main and say that my custom handler is also a clone. I mean, there is basically 0 values in there, so it's okay to just clone them. There's no copying happening. And what else? Okay, I have an unused import and also this. Okay, so the sized. So what should I do? Also, oh come on, we can also do a simpler one. Instead of boxing, maybe we can just use a router. Let's just remove this. Should be able to model this simpler. So router can also be so a node from a reference to an HTTP handler. It's going to be static. I mean, I'm gonna have this through my whole program. I don't need this boxing anymore. So let's take a look at this radix try rust. Is this the same library or I'm using another thing? Radix 3 radix 3 rust. Let's see, so we have this library and this library. These are 2 libraries. So I have this. This is the library I'm using. There's also this. And let's for now try to use this, and if we couldn't, we are going to use the other one. Okay, can you give me the GitHub link? There was some documentation, yes. So okay, so node of char and boolean, and also this. Okay, so first of all, I need to import this. There might be some side effects. And this node is going to be of chars. So char and boolean. Consider explicitly adding a lifetime bound. Okay, let's get it static as well. Dropped heel one is still borrowed. Can I do reference? Okay, so we have this. I don't know what's happening again. So let's now implement this. Okay, and we have this weird thing. Okay, I don't want this. Let's ignore this. Into main, just copy this. So I get a connection. This is also going to be an async trait. So I need async trait, async trait. Do we have any kind of hash maps in here? Oh, yes. It's in here. So let's get a cell. Cannot find type error. Okay, so I'm gonna use my error enum. Mismatch type. Okay, okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. And I can use this. Yes. And so I can say self dot root dot get root dot find passing connection dot URI. Is that a thing in connection? Connection dot request dot okay. Yes. Request dot URI. So I say if let sum of handler is this, else this. Handler it says I don't have any kind of anything called find. Why? Because this is mutable. Marked it as mutable. I don't get it. So handler passing the connection, and also do OK. Wrap this. Otherwise, just do error, error. Let's add a not found error. Not found. So no method name find. Okay, let me just run this and see what's what. So in here, cargo build, we have these two unused ones. So do this, do this. There's also this index thing we don't need. Okay. Oh, we need to have this as well in the scope. Let's see. Yes, okay. So now handler, what is handler? Handler is a node itself. Handler is a node. So we say dot, how we can get the data inside. So find will return an option, and the handler becomes a reference to a node that has an HTTP handler inside. Dot okay, how should I use this? Okay, handler has type reference to a node. I don't get what is wrong with my code. I mean, okay, it's okay. So tree is finding, creates a node. If it's a sum, it's true. Node dot unwrap. Okay, dot data. So dot unwrap. So now what's his handler? Oh, it becomes a node, so we don't need. Handler data.handle. Can I see this? Handle connection. Oh my god. I just want to make this work. Mismatch expected unit type. Found this. I don't need this okay wrapping as well. Can I do this? Capture value is not send because reference cannot send. So what should I do? Okay, because future created by async block is not send. Within the router, the trait sync is not implemented. Within the router, so how should I make this sync? How should I make this sync? Captured value is not sent because reference. So router is not sent. Can we drive this? So how we should do this? Implement send for router. Unsafe implementation. I don't know what to do, basically. It's really annoying because I know this is going to be okay because all my HTTP handler stuff are basically stateless. I mean, it's okay to use them across threads and everything. Capture value is not sent because references cannot be sent unless the referent is sync. How we did this for log middleware? We did drive clone on it. Maybe we just need the clone. No. Okay, so we have this log middleware. It has a HTTP handler inside. How do I do this syntax in here? This is really weird. Okay, let's see if this builds. Yes, it runs. Yes, so let's use it. So how we should use this? So we should have this router which returns this root thing, but let's have, for now, let's just expose the root. I just want to make this work. So in main, what I'm going to do is create a router, which is a router, new, passing, so new just means a root handler. I'm gonna say hello from, this becomes root handler, root and custom handler. Main function is not allowed to be async. Main is, who cares? Okay. Now I say router dot root dot, what was that? Add? What was the name of the method? Insert. Oh, yes, insert. Insert something, so hello. What we do is, let's do some magic in here. So I have this message in here, which is a static string. I use this self.message to differentiate the handlers we have. So message is root. I think I should import radix 3 radix. And the base, no. And now the custom handler message is hello. this would become itself the router. Neat. Holy shit, will this work? Let's see. Curl this. Okay, so what about /hello? So why we are not returning the response? So I'm awaiting this, and I'm awaiting this. In the router, I should await this. Holy. So we have the router. Nice. So let's do a commit. Time for a commit. Git commit. Basic router. Now the final thing is to be able to have path parameters. Sorry. So let's take a look at the source code, lib. So how you do the lookup? It is a test. This is radix. For node, insert. What about this other package? This one seems to not have implemented this. What about this one? Are you implementing this? Oh, cool. Maybe we can use this, actually. So let's actually use this one. Let's actually use this one. So oh my god, this is so slow. Okay, it's called path tree. What is wrong with everything today? Okay, copy it. It's going to be almost the same. So let's go into router, let's go into cargo, add this, remove this, exit, do cargo build, and let's see if they can download this. If it cannot, I need to do a VPN again, probably. I mean, this is the reason I'm not doing any kind of streaming. All these unstable connections. Why it's so slow. And you can do everything, which is nice. Okay, let me pause this and fix this and be right back. Okay, I'm back. So let's go into our code, router, and change everything. So I don't need this anymore. I need route path. What was the name? Path tree. it has a node, which we probably use, and this node only has this node. So what we should do for start is just to do new, create it. Okay, so so let root is a node new, which is node of implementation of HTTP handler plus sync plus send plus clone. And also static. Okay. What is node kind? Oh, it's path tree. Sorry. So let's just create path tree. It's going to be path tree path tree. Okay. Finally, the root, insert, path is going to be slash, data is going to be root handler. Root. Okay, finally, now we have this. Okay, consider borrowing this, because find gets no field data. What is handler now? Handler is a tuple. What does find return? It has a reference to node data and params corresponding to the path. Okay. So should do handler dot 0 dot handle connection, passing the connection, and await when we have access to this as well. Back. Run. Oh my god. Okay, we don't have this. Let's go into main, remove this. Run. Run. We got a crash. Unwrap on a non-value. Nice. So let's continue. Okay, so why this option is none? Let's run this one more to make sure that where is the problem. So if I do hello, this should work. Yes. So the root has problems, and this is because of this new function. So if you take a look, we have this in root. What I do, oh, I don't register the root handler. That's why. Root dot insert, passing the path and the root handler. Cannot borrow root as mutable. Okay. Okay, now this should be fixed. Okay, this works. This works. And the final thing is to have these things available. So let's create a final handler. So it's going to be small change in request. So I'm going to have path parameters. For now, the path parameters is going to be a vector router. What's this handler? It's a vector of vector of tuples. So it's basically a vector of tuples. Params is handler.1 connection.request.pathParams is params. And the lifetime of the request. No, of course not. Request. Consider introducing a lifetime. Why you need to introduce a lifetime for you? Lifetime here. No. I can do something nasty in here. So what I can do is just have this, and I don't need this, and this. And this. I can just do params dot iter for key value in params dot iter. I can create a hash map. Let's do this handler1, make params a hash map new of string. I want to own all data. Use STD collections hash map. Why do I need to delete these generics? Okay. I don't need this lifetime as well. And finally I do is, I don't know what happened to my Vim. All this tab stuff is not correctly working. Params.insert key value 0 dot clone key value 1 dot clone. Okay, as a stir, to stir, to stir. Okay, so we got the params working, and finally in our main we could be able to just print something. If let sum connection dot connection dot path params I don't have access to these. Okay, because if let sum is connection dot request dot I don't need to own this. Add params dot get will of main do just print line on server. On server, do and finally this should work, hopefully. So if I say hello, we have this path parameter working as well. So this is basically it. We did implement all the features we wanted for this web server in Rust to have. And actually the routing part was basically I use a library because of Rust is a much more mature language. I'm gonna do a video and compare these two implementations and what I liked about Rust and what I liked about Zig. And yes, that is pretty much it. So if you like my content, you can always you know, like, subscribe, comment, and you can do the little alert thing to let you know that I have published another video. And also if you like my content, you just subscribe. That is pretty much it, and you can always reach me at Twitter, Gmail, GitHub, and that's it. So until the next video and another project, bye.